its owners and/or associates.
Lisa and Robin are two fun friends diving deep into conversations where nothing is taboo. They believe in eating dessert before dinner and wearing the bikini. They're allergic to labels, authority, and cheap shoes. Currently, they're launching themselves through life being the good time, bold enough to take risks and inquisitively asking, what's next? They hail from New Hampshire, but they could be anywhere dressed in cute clothes. If they had to share a tombstone, it would read, "Curiosity killed these cats." Your hosts, Lisa and Robin on the mic.
Welcome to Lisa and Robin on the mic. You are listening on WSMN 1590 AM, 95.3 FM. You can watch, stream, and listen on WSMN.live. You can always find us on YouTube and Spotify, iHeartRadio, and every place you find your favorite podcasts. Welcome.
Good morning.
How are you?
I am awesome. Had a great night's sleep.
I did too.
I was a little train wreck this morning with my outfit.
What's really funny is sometimes I'll text dress or jeans or like something, but today we didn't. And I'm like, I'm just wearing jeans. I'm getting ready to do a little cat sitting, so I don't want to, have a dress that I have to dry clean because I have cat fur all over it. And I said, I don't have cowboy boots, but I feel like my top would look good with cowboy boots if I own them. Yes. So I brought the closest thing I had to cowboy boots, which is not, it's open-toed shoes, open-toed heels.
So I really wanted to wear.
But you came in with your cowboy boots.
Yes. And my denim.
And your denim. I'm like, we vibe.
We are. We're just on that same energy. And look at there, it's 10:10. What's funny is I'm definitely wearing my country flannel, and I really thought last night going to bed, I want to wear some fall colors. Like I like a cute jeans, cute pair of boots, and like a rust color, brown, burgundy, somewhere in that color. And I was like, maybe I'll wear my dress with my tall boots. I have that like burgundy silk dress. Mm-hmm. So then I was like, no, I'm gonna wear. I feel like just like flannel. Mm-hmm. I know you're not big on flannel.
I'm trying to think if I own any flannel.
I'm not big on them, but I like certain outfits. Like I like certain things. Like today, I'm just very...
Well, I guess flannel's not the big objection for me because I grew up in Catholic school. Plaid is an objection for me because it's just like...
So you don't ever want to go revisit like naughty schoolgirl outfit?
No, I didn't feel like a naughty schoolgirl when I was a naughty schoolgirl.
But do we ever?
I know. I don't know how naughty I was, but I was
now.
Yeah, I was definitely.
What is it about that outfit, though?
I think it's because there's pedophiles everywhere that are like, oh, look at young schoolgirls. They're not out of school. They're underage.
Well, yeah, but
they have potential.
When you wear your white button up and tie it, and I guess that's,
And when you had to wear it, it didn't feel that way.
Correct. I didn't have to wear it.
It felt like just a smothering of your expressive personality is what it felt like.
Yes.
To me.
Yes, I get that.
I didn't want to wear that outfit. I didn't want to wear the same outfits every day.
Yeah, that would be really hard.
The monotony.
I'm surprised you didn't have a temper tantrum. I probably would have had a temper tantrum.
There's nothing I could do.
My mom and I used to fight over clothes all the time.
I couldn't fight because this is the uniform.
Yeah.
And you would get in trouble if you didn't wear the uniform appropriately. So you're like, I don't want to stay after school. I don't want to even be in school while I'm in school.
Right. Well, they give you detention hall for...
Yeah.
How do you wear it inappropriately?
Like if you don't have your vest on in the hallway, because you were supposed to wear either a vest or a sweater. You couldn't just wear your shirt. So we'd always tie things around our waist. And it was like in the hallway, you were supposed to wear your vest. Vest on, Missy.
Why?
Yeah, because that was the uniform.
Hide nipples or like
probably.
But what is it for summer? Like it wouldn't. Are you air conditioned? Like
we
some
weren't
of the schools. But even in the summer, you have to wear something over your shirt
while you're in the hall.
Why? I just don't get that.
I don't get that either because we want control over you. We want control over you so that you submit to whatever we're telling you because you're broken. You're broken as a human being inside. You cannot make your own decisions. You are just broken inside.
Just listen to what we tell you. Just do it my way.
We don't need whatever. Yeah, so to me, it was such a smothering of expression that I don't know if I could plaid.
Do it. So how many years did you have to wear a uniform?
So I was in Catholic school from 5th through 12th grade.
Oh,
And I remember I did transition to
And did the
fall.
uniforms change at all? Like during the year? Like
Because I was part of Immaculate Conception and then the sister school was Matenon to my church, they had the same colors. Like if I went to a different school, it would have been a red plaid. I had the blue and green plaid. I know other schools had like different color plaid. Well, we had two options. You could wear a straight green kick pleat skirt or a pleated plaid skirt. And the first year, like just pleats all across your waist is such an unattractive look.
It's not flattering.
So after that, I made a seamstress sew down some of the top of the plaid to lie flat. Because it was
Too
a
much.
nightmare.
Gosh. So
You're just bringing up all the trauma in my past.
Did you have to get new uniforms every year?
Your parents didn't want to, but you wanted to. You know, I didn't grow since I was 12. So my
Right.
mother's like, you could still wear one or two of those skirts. And I was just like, I've been in this skirt for a year.
Yeah. Every day, 5 days a week.
You know, we used to dry clean them and rotate. But, I mean, you had a couple. But I didn't have one for every day of the week. I had a top because you had certain color. For a while, it was certain colors tops. Like when I was in 8th grade, you could only wear white or yellow tops. Yeah. And then in high school, so you'd wear purple even though purple didn't go with what you were wearing, or pink even though pink, you know, just because you were like.
But it was their top. You couldn't have your own.
It was a button-down shirt. It was either a sleeveless or a full sleeve button-down shirt.
Ugh. None of those. I don't really own any purple, and I.
Well, I'm saying yellow. I wore purple just because it was like.
But could you wear purple? Was that one of the colors?
Well, once I got into high school, they didn't criticize what color it was as long as it was a button-down shirt. So then I started being like.
So you didn't have to purchase their button-down
shirt. Correct.
Oh. Wow, so you're wearing like purple with green
and they didn't have
blue.
A lot of button-down shirts for girls, so sometimes you were buying boy section from Jordan Marsh.
Yeah.
Because there weren't back then it wasn't, you know. It was just it's a trauma. It's a trauma that I'm not over.
I could see, uniforms. I could see the eliminating the competition, or
I do think it's
like,
good in a lot of
focus.
respects. Yeah, because you don't have the kids saying you don't have the latest Nikes, or you don't have the latest this, or you don't have the right brand, you're not wearing. I do get why it's useful, but going through it for a person who loved clothing and
is
fashion.
such an expression of your style, whether you accept it or not. It's just
whether or you. For you, it may not be. For someone else, it may not be if they don't choose it to be. But if you're thinking that it's how you make yourself feel good. It's your armor. It's how you're, it's your shield of going into the world.
It's your courage. It's, even think about, when you're going into a job interview and you want to make a power statement, or you want to feel confident, or, how you show up.
Yeah, there's a reason why politicians don't go around in their grubbies when they're politicking.
In their sweatpants.
It's because we don't want to see you in really
in
short
their Elmo flannel fuzzy pants.
And I want to talk about what's going on with men's mustaches.
I don't know.
It's getting out of control.
Yes. My son just trimmed down his beard. Like, I don't like it when... Like, I like the beard when they keep it close to the jawline. I don't like when it's all,
Duck Dynasty?
Yes. And why is that such a thing right now?
I think because...
Just a ratty beard.
I don't know if it's a... I don't know if we have... have we abused men to such a point in our society that the only way they can be masculine is facial hair? Do they feel like they can't be masculine in the world anymore, so they're like... Well, I've got facial hair. I'm a man.
That's a good point.
And now it's like that weird porno mustache that's like Tom Selleck thick mustache. I'm seeing a lot of young guys in that, and it's not a good look.
And it reminds me of oh my God, what's the little? Is it Starsky and Hutch?
Yep.
Or they have just that mustache, or
was it Starsky and Hutch?
It's the oh my gosh.
I definitely think of Tom Selleck.
Yes.
And I never thought Tom Selleck was good looking because I never liked that mustache.
I didn't like the mustache.
I don't know what he looks like without the mustache to make a determination, but everybody used to swoon over Tom Selleck, and I'm like, nah.
People swooned over Tom Cruise too, and I'm like,
he wasn't a thing for me. He wasn't tall enough.
He's like a dirty little monkey to me.
He just wasn't tall enough. I felt like in heels I would be too tall for him.
But even his attitude, like, just, I don't know, his body language and stuff, I don't know.
Remember when he jumped up on Oprah's couch?
Yes. Yes.
Then that was like, we need to have an intervention with Tom. Tom's not doing well. And I want to say, I was thinking last week, I'm like, wow, I was really catty with Elizabeth Gilbert.
Oops.
and I thought about it afterwards. I was like, why was I so happy to gossip about her? And I'm like, I think it was because I hadn't talked to you in 2 weeks, and it had been 2 weeks before that I had seen that, and I was like, oh, I'm dying to talk about this. But I also think it's not actually a reflection of Elizabeth Gilbert as much as it is a reflection of us putting things on top of her. Because to us, she was the Eat, Pray, Love woman. Right? She wrote Eat, Pray, Love, and she spoke to so many about having all of this anxiety, and we saw ourselves in her story, in pieces of her story. So we put a label on top of her. So when she comes out to say, that's not my label, that's not how I was living my life, that's not, and we, we're kind of like, well, I'm the one who put that. I projected that on you.
I
mean, but you did project it a little bit with the low talking.
Yeah.
You did go around on talk shows.
You did.
And
make
you
me
did
wonder.
Super Soul Sunday, so it wasn't us just projecting onto you.
I know. Do you talk to your kids like that? Do you talk to your husband
She's
like
childless.
that? But do you talk to family members the same?
Like
way?
I want to hear you yell.
Is that really you?
Yeah, I want to hear you
Is
yell.
that really you?
Or do you get even lower?
Yes.
Right.
The deep, soft, quiet. Did you really just say that to me?
Right. You did not just say that to me.
I don't think she just,
I want you to lean in. That's a power move. I was watching something with Chase Hughes, and he does like the CIA stuff and body reading and all of that other stuff. And he was saying the most powerful person is the lowest, the quietest person in the room. That they don't have to yell or exert their power. And I'm like, well, you can tell I'm powerless. I'm yelling all over the place. I'm cackling in restaurants. Right? I'm not the quietest person in the room. She's not powerful, that one over there.
I do have a tendency, like in an argument, I do tend to take my voice down.
See,
Maybe not to give away.
Are you calming yourself by doing that? In a fight, I'm getting jacked up.
Well, I am, but I think if I lower my voice and I start talking calm, because a lot of times when people see you getting agitated,
yes,
then they are more apt to, I think, ramp you up or keep it going. And maybe it's me grounding myself.
Or that you also make them more ramped up, because now if I'm mad at you and I'm trying to get into it and then you're getting louder, I'm also probably trying to get louder.
Yes. But I also think that it irritates some people too when I start to get softer, and it's comes across as condescending. But I think what actually is happening to me, I think I'm grounding and being like, okay, just stay calm, stay focused.
Don't get twisted around.
Don't get into the
weeds.
Yes. Don't bring up old baggage. Like, stick to the facts. And I think that helps ground me. And I think so when I start to get softer in my voice,
I'll know I'm in trouble.
Calmer in my voice.
Uh-oh. Somebody's getting calm.
You're right. You don't have to worry if I'm loud.
Right. Loud's great. Loud is great.
But I also can shift mine, like, very easily. Like, if Chris and if he just came up and said something silly to me, like, because I want to let it go so quickly. It helps me reframe it.
Yeah.
And it does, like, I am eager to let go of my anger quickly.
Yeah.
But I can't hold on to it like a...
Yeah. Yeah. To me, when I'm angry, when I was younger, I used anger as my motivator. Because anger could set me in motion.
Yes. Well, I think anger is good for motivating you, but it
burns.
It's
like a bad motivation because you just set everything on fire.
It's like a quick start.
It's a quick start, and it burns down stuff, though. For me, like, I can't use anger long term. Or I was using it long term, and I'm like, this isn't, I got to try something else, because all I'm doing is lighting myself on fire. And that's when I started to get psoriasis, and I started to get...
I know it. I just don't see you.
Skin.
I just don't see you as an angry person. Like
You
'cause
didn't see
sometimes
me at
you can
during my
see-
teenager years.
But like your facial expressions, your body language, like all of that, I don't see that as I don't see you as an angry person. Like even your resting face, you always have kind of a little bit of a smile or at least a piece on it because you can kind of like just walk through any public place and you can kind of see like, oh, they look grouchy. They look, they have really bad RBFs.
Right, right. But I think it's because I've worked on it for a while.
Or even your demeanor, like you don't come across as, some people are angry.
Yeah, like I sang a lot of really angry music in my car driving to and from work, because I wanted to release those feelings. But I didn't want to be angry. I just didn't have... Anger was easier than sadness. Anger was easier than disappointment. Anger was easier than loss. Anger was easier than all of these
I felt better.
more dimensional. It's like, I could just be sad and cry, or I could be angry. I can just be disappointed, or I could be angry. I can just be, melancholy, or I could be angry.
Morose.
I could be morose and moronic.
Monotone, mundane.
Or I could be angry. Yeah. Like, I use that as a pillow to kind of be comfortable in the other emotions, because sadness, disappointment, all of those didn't make me feel good either. But anger, at least I could be like, I'm going to go get another job.
Yeah.
I'm going to go make more money and go on vacation.
Well, it's kind of like you're running from those. And definitely, I think anger feels better than sadness, depression, loneliness, lost, insecure, like any of those, sadness, any of those, low vibration, because I feel like anger helps you feeling like,
it was like insightful, like, or inciting, when I was angry, it incited action.
Yeah. I come up with some really good one-liners when I'm angry, so.
and I don't think angry is a good look on me.
No. I don't think angry is a good look on me either.
I also look at it, I'm sure from the outside, is like, what is this thing doing? I'm probably not real menacing or threatening, or, you're not probably frightened or anything. Like, so what's really the point of this?
What's going on over there?
This just bitch of this person, I think that's probably, I realized, no one's frightened. The point of anger is to kind of intimidate, and some of anger is, to move the needle in your direction towards something. And again, but so I wasn't given good.
But anger feels like it's something it's that you're projecting out. And like the other emotions are the ones that are like so sad and lonely, or the things that kind of feel like they nestle inside of you. And anger feels like, a target.
Yes. But you can turn anger on yourself and it comes across as depression.
Yeah.
Because you're like angry with yourself, and then you're mad.
Yeah.
And then you're not taking any good action, and then you just I become depressed. So I figured out probably around 30 or 31 that depression was anger at myself. If it wasn't, because once you move out of the bad weather.
Yeah.
And you're like, I have some of these same feelings. I thought it was, I labeled a place, as my problem. And then you're like, I'll still have to work on other stuff, I guess.
Well, I like the idea. Well, I like the idea of naming your emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get out the thesaurus, because there's a ton of them.
It's true. But why do you think that people choose to stay?
It's empowering. I think it's easier. So I could be mad at you and I'm empowered. There's something empowering about anger. But if I'm just sad, then that's another round of emotions. I think that's why when I was younger, I was just using anger, because the other ones were so overwhelming, where anger I could use for action.
Yeah. It's like you project it out. You don't project. I mean, even though you do project.
You are setting yourself on fire to make someone else. It starts with, lighting. Because I think there's uses for anger. I don't think, when they say anger management, I don't think that there's no, if someone's hitting your dog in the middle of the street, be angry.
Right.
and do something.
There's a time and place.
Yeah, if someone's doing something horrible to a child, get angry and take care of that.
Yeah.
You know, I do think that there's a proper place for anger, but if it's the only emotion, it's like, well, it's not the only emotion. You just don't want to feel the other emotions.
Well,
So these ones are easy. The
But
anger's
it's true.
easier.
But there's a time and place for all of the emotions, like all the emotions. But that's what I love about that little movie. Oh my gosh, that when Jen was here, and it talks about
oh yes, the kids movie.
yes, and it's their these little creatures that are in her brain, and go through puberty, and then like the second one is these new shows up like jealousy, insecurity, like all these different ones come up.
See, it's so interesting. So, like, talk about jealousy for a second. I also realized young that jealousy doesn't serve me. I could feel it,
Yeah,
but it was like, and what am I supposed to do with this?
yeah,
So I realized very young someone is smarter, funnier,
Yeah.
prettier, has more. Like, there's always more. There's someone. So to be jealous of that,
yeah,
you're going to spend your whole life just finding people to be jealous on
yes.
or jealous over.
But I think that comes from like the insecurity and the lack of belief in yourself. Not you personally, but you know what I mean? Because I think that.
But you know who I'm jealous of the most often are writers, and it's because it's something I want for myself.
Yes.
So every time, I'm working on the same book, they're working on their 5th book, I'll get jealous. And then it's like, yeah, because you're not doing what you need to finish your project.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. So I think all the emotions are kind of good because we're in another October.
Yes.
And we're kind of talking about another sober October.
Yes.
Right? If you
Yes.
choose to do that. But we kind of want to talk a little. So when you're talking about jealousy or all of these other emotions, it's like, oh, you have to sit and feel them. Who the hell wants to feel these crappy emotions?
Right. Right.
Right. So distract ourselves from them.
Well, and
numb
I think that's
ourselves
where
to
I
them.
think that abusive alcohol comes from. Wanting to push down some of the feelings that we're experiencing or going through, not wanting to deal with reality, because you can't escape your head, your mind, but you can train your mind to you can do a lot of different things, but it takes work.
Yeah.
But being angry takes work too, and being jealous takes work too, and it robs
But if it's a
us
habit,
so much. It robs us of so much peace.
yeah. And I think, so one of my favorite podcasts is the Huberman Lab, because he's a, neuro guy, and
We should share his.
Yes.
We should share his.
And I listened to
podcast
another one
about
on
the
guilt.
alcohol.
Yes. We should put that one. We'll put a link to it.
Because that's really good.
He does 3 hours on what the reality of is alcohol to your brain. And I just saw him on a show, and he was explaining how little alcohol is good for you. Like what a small amount.
Didn't Joe Rogan quit drinking too?
Yeah. I don't know if he did it permanently, but he definitely does Sober October. And the gentleman who was on this talk show with him was like, you were depressing the hell out of me. And he goes, why? And he's like, I drink way too much, apparently. So this isn't about being depressing, or this is about checking to see what's it like to do just to do something different.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, was it yesterday or the day before? If I had met my 22-year-old self, split me off, right? I'm 53. I find my 22-year-old self, and I'm like, you are going to love mushrooms so much, you're going to cook with them. You're going to have like 5 different recipes in your cookbook with mushrooms. I would be like, you are not me in the future, because I hate mushrooms so much that I will like ruin a date over it.
For real?
Yeah, because you go to a restaurant and I'd ask, does this have mushrooms? And they'd say yes. I'd be like, can I have it without the mushrooms? And then it would show up without my mushrooms. And then I would hand pick every single mushroom out of it.
Oh, yeah.
And then the person on the other end would be like, just enjoy the food. And I'm like, shut up, I'm an adult. And if I don't want to eat mushrooms, I'm not eating mushrooms.
Right.
And they were like, wow, she's pretty angry. It's just a mushroom lady. Calm down. I'm not eating mushrooms. I don't like
I do that
mushrooms.
when
I'm not eating mushrooms.
I've asked
don't
for
don't tell me to be eating mushrooms. Like, I got real all uppity.
I can be that way because I don't like onions. And I was, my grandparents, my aunts, my uncles, my stepfather, everybody when it would come down to meal times, you should just try that. You should quit being so picky. Like everybody had to give me their opinion about, and I'm like, I've tried it. And I think I've even said it before. My mom used to threaten me, you're not getting up from the dinner table until you eat your dinner. And I'm like, I'm not trying to be rude, but I'll gag.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to eat it. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to. I've tried it. You can't make me like it.
Right.
So I can get really upset too. Like there, I'm like, tag on it.
Right.
How hard is it? How hard is it to not give me
The thing
a
I don't want.
hamburger without onions on it?
Right. So, and I could have imagined that 22-year-old self being like, you are not from my future. You are not the future me. You may look like me, but you're not, because I was so staunchly. And then I would have to explain, but one time you're eating canned mushrooms. They're disgusting.
Ugh.
They're they're like nuclear reactive protective. They're weird.
So do they boil them or something? Because they've got like a rubbery.
They're so the wrong texture, but you're going to have them at a Japanese place where Japanese people know mushrooms, and you're going to have them and fall in love. And then you're going to try them a million more times because now that you've had ones that you like, and you will grow as a person. And I know my 22-year-old self would not believe me.
So the first time I ever ate mushrooms, because that was one of the things I avoided when I was a kid, my stepfather, he used to take like garlic, olive oil, wine, and maybe teriyaki or a little bit of soy sauce, and he would saute them in this. And he did it a couple of different ways, but it was like wine. I feel like wine, butter, garlic, and maybe some soy in there or something. And he would serve it over top of the steak. And that was really good. So that was like my first love of mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I moved to the Cape, there used to be this little pizza place that they would get pizza for. And she always loved pepperoni and mushrooms. And I was like, ugh. Yeah, well, I was going to pick them off. But then now the way they did them, they were fresh mushrooms. They're sliced. And I was like, oh, these are great flavors together.
Yeah.
So now I love mushrooms.
Yeah, but like, so when you're coming into, you do the thing that you've always done because you've always done it. And I heard someone talking about it, and they said they were from the UK, and they said, how do you stop drinking in a culture that is surrounded by drinking as part of the culture? And it is not only such an acceptable thing, it is an encouraged thing for adults. Go out for drinks. Get a drink. Have a drink. Come on, be social, right? There's so to turn around, and we really believed for years you were supposed to have 2 glasses of wine at night for your heart. There's
Really? I thought it was just
cardiologists
one
that
glass of wine.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
There are cardiologists that still say that.
Is
You
it
should
the-
have just a glass of wine and go to bed. And
The
it's like,
tannins yeah, actually, my OBGYN said something about that. And I'm like, I'm not a big red wine fan.
right. And some people can't, the sulfates make them really like hot flashy,
Yeah.
almost like where they're getting hives. But so it's been literally dosed out as medicine. It is part of our culture. It is part of our a social component. So how do you turn around and change it? It's usually not on a dime. And if you did Sober October with us last year and you're thinking of doing it this year, or you said, oh, I'm going to do Sober October, and then that night you went home and had a drink, right?
You get up and try again tomorrow.
You can always try again tomorrow. You can always have a day one, because what isn't useful for people is if you
Right.
say, hey, I'm going to give up drinking because I know it's not good for me, or I need to do it for my health purposes or something. And you try and you get 2 days, and then that third day you have a drink. You don't go up. Well, that's it.
Right.
You can try again the next day. Try to get another 2 days. Try to get 3 days.
Yeah, it's making that 1%. It's that 1% shift every day. So say if you had 2 glasses of wine, you've had 2 days. I'd change the subject. New story.
You've
New
had 2
days, but you don't beat yourself up and be like,
Yeah.
"Well, I failed that, so
So I'm never going to try again.
Right. get up and try again the next day. It's not a failure. I think, see, we think about it as a failure, or I failed myself, or I let myself down. And so it's like, who cares? Well,
Right.
that didn't work.
Or
No, you actually had 2 days of it with actually leaving your body. And did you notice any difference? But so then if you had the drink on day 3, go back, like you said, go back and try another 2 days. Just try one day at a time. Ed Milet, The Power of One More, his book called The Power of One More. He learned, from his dad. His dad was an alcoholic and he quit drinking, and he's like, for today, I'm not going to drink today.
Right.
And he's like, I think I can do one more day.
Yeah, I think it was Marcus Aurelius who said, do not trouble yourself with worrying about the rest of your life. Don't worry about 5 days from now or 50 days from now. Worry about today. Just get yourself through today, which is part of the AA, part of their mantra, And if you try it alone, try it with a group of people, try it with the people in your house, try it with a friend so that you have solidarity. So you have, even if you're starting a workout routine, see if you could go with somebody else, because you will be accountable to another person more, so you won't let another person down before you will let yourself down.
But you could do like a mocktail if you wanted to. There's so many different non-alcoholic beers now. Like Chris had gotten some a while back and tried it when we were doing 75 hard, and I think he'd gotten some, and I think there's like the dark stouts, like I want to say, is it Bass? I don't know my beers, but I think Sam Adams makes some. But so you can still feel like
you're part of the group.
Well, change your routine. Change your routine. Like, even if it's at home, go for a non-alcoholic one. If you have the drink, don't beat yourself up. Start again the next day. Focus on today. Hey, today I'm not going to drink. Today I'm not going to have a drink.
Yep. And then realize that you might not feel better before you feel good.
Yeah.
Because if your body is used to alcohol, just like if your body's used to sugar.
I think they say it's like 30 days before you really will start to feel like, get like all the stuff behind you. It says like moodiness, irritability, anger.
You might not be able to
aggression, like restless sleep. All of those things can last up to 6 weeks. You think about that, just out of your body. It takes that long for it to get out of your body and to get over. And even you don't even have to be addicted to it. You wouldn't even call yourself an alcoholic. Like, would you call, if somebody has, a nightcap every night, or they have their glass of wine. Is that an alcoholic?
Right.
It's a habit.
Right.
It's a habit.
Right.
And change your habit. And like I stopped, like, just not, and I was never a big drinker. But it's been, I don't know, almost 2 weeks? And I feel like I have more energy. And I'm like, well, wow, if I were heavy drinking, how would that make me feel?
Right.
But I feel like I have more energy. I feel like my head is clearer. And even though that I wasn't drinking to the, I'd have a margarita, I'd have a margarita, maybe a couple of times during the week. But I also noticed that even if I didn't have one the next day, like just having it out of your system for a number of back-to-back days, like I feel like my digestion is better, my sleep is better, my mindset is better, my energy level is better. I'm like, wow, and that was like 3 days of not having anything in your, I'd had, a margarita. And then I was like, yeah, I'm not going, I don't need it. I don't want it. And I just want to feel like I just see the difference.
Right. Right. I'm just giving it a break for a little while.
And
I'm
I'm like,
trying something different.
Yeah. My bed tells me I'm sleeping amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you think about it, if you watch that Huberman Lab podcast about what alcohol does to your system, it's like you give your car gas, but you also give it a lot of water. Your gas doesn't run on water. Engines don't run on water. So how poorly is the performance of your car when you have the wrong fuel going into it? And I think it's the same thing for diets. It's like I've been doing this Zoe app, and I think I'm on my 110th day today. But not every one of those days was perfect. So, all right, you did something you ate something you weren't supposed to eat. Well, don't then be like, oh, okay, well, I'm throwing in the towel and I'm having a pint of Haagen-Dazs ice cream, and want a batch of chocolate chip cookies. You don't have to, just because I went off script for a day or a meal doesn't mean that I'm ruining the remainder of my future.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, you got to try again.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
all of life is just trying again. I used to love a day one of a new workout practice, or a day one of I used to love, because day one is full of hope and possibility. 100 days stinks because you're like in the middle.
Yeah. Yes.
And middles are always messy for me.
Well, yeah. So long-term effects of alcohol: brain shrinkage. Chronic alcohol use can lead to reduction in brain volume, particularly in areas involved in memory, decision-making, and emotional regulation. Dementia. Alcohol abuse is a major risk factor for developing dementia, including Alzheimer's. The Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome, severe brain disorder caused by chronic alcohol abuse and a vitamin B1 deficiency. It can lead to memory loss, confusion, and eye problems. And do you know that I think I've read somewhere, like, dementia and like Alzheimer's, like B vitamins are important for
Yes.
when you're deficient in that. Vitamin D as well. Changes in your brain chemistry. It changes
Your liver.
It alters the levels of neurotransmitters, such as your dopamine, serotonin, and glutamate, which can lead to addiction and other mental health problems. Increased risks of injuries, sleep disturbances, increased risk of liver damage. And that's just on your brain. There was one. Let's find it on on the body.
Yeah, so I was, it was, I don't know if we talked about this on the show, and you can tell me if we did. In Massachusetts, it's legal to smoke weed, but companies are giving drug tests, and they're failing because the weed stays in your system for a while. But the person was saying, if this is, how is this legal that you're not allowing me to do something that's legal? How
Right.
is preventing me from having a job? So I think a lot of people have stopped drinking alcohol and smoke weed instead. But that there's...
Yeah, but how do you get hired?
That's the thing. When people talk about the hiring process, I think they have to kind of figure that out in Massachusetts, because weed is legal in Massachusetts. They sell it in 1 million dispensaries.
Yeah.
So...
Well, but I think it's in like New York,
Mm-hmm.
which I would think New York would be like one of the last places, based upon their, anywho.
Mm-hmm.
Vermont,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Maine. Like, we're the only ones that's not legal.
Okay.
So I don't know if they're drug testing,
No.
drug testing for hires, like even in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Like I had this lady, I was talking to. I was doing I used to do drug testing for pre-hires when I worked in a lab, and she said, "Oh yeah, we don't test anymore,"
Mm-hmm.
because she said if we did, we would lose half of our staff. We would lose a lot of our staff.
Mm-hmm. I know some manufacturing places that are like that. They'll
But
say...
these are like, this is lab. This is people that are working in a lab,
Yeah.
and working with important stuff that you don't want to get wrong.
Right.
But I don't think. Well, me personally, I don't think weed has the same effects to impair your decision-making abilities.
I think
Is
when you're
alcohol
on it,
do.
it does. I think, to me,
Yes.
it's the same type of inebriation, but it might be a calmer inebriation, or less of a not the hangover effect the next day of the body processing alcohol. But I think high and drunk are
I think
impaired.
it's a bad combination
I-
together.
Yeah, but I think either is still impaired.
Yes. But would you hire somebody, like, if they're job performing and they're not
Yes.
doing it at work, but you can't guarantee. You can't guarantee.
You can't guarantee that someone doesn't drink before they come to work either,
Yes.
or that someone doesn't go out in the car and drink at lunch.
Right.
I mean, if you smell it, that's one thing, but sometimes people...
Right, but they don't regulate it, and alcohol is much more deadly than I think weed is. I just, I don't think people.
I
that
think
smoke
Huberman
weed and
Lab did
stuff-
a marijuana one. I'll watch that one and I'll see what he says. If it's the same.
Yeah, because so how do you do that? How do you, if like half of these people, I think New Hampshire has one of the highest
alcohol rates.
Consumption of alcohol in the United States.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And so, like 90% of the people are drinking.
Right.
But there's probably just as much people that are smoking weed, and you can't get hired for that, but yet you can still get hired if you're,
A drinker.
a heavy drinker.
Yeah. So it's interesting. So that'll be interesting what ends up happening. I think the laws have to catch, like, things have to be tested because it's new.
Yeah. Yeah.
Decriminalization of weed is new.
Yeah.
Well, it's only a few years old, right? I think so.
Yeah, it's been
5 years, maybe.
Yeah, maybe 5 years.
Yeah. Okay. Or somewhere around there. So it's new as far as laws are concerned.
Yeah.
But one of the things I think about when I think about how to set yourself up for success, it's like the same thing when you're on a diet. If you have chips in the house, if I have chips in the house, probably going to eat chips.
Yeah, mine's cookies.
Right. So if you're trying to give alcohol a break, or you're trying to go, I'm only going to drink on Friday and Saturday night, get rid of it out of your house. Make you have to leave the house and go have a drink somewhere. Because I also think that's another thing. If you have a bottle of tequila for $40 in your house, that's different than going out and having 2 margaritas that cost $40.
Right.
It's just an obstacle, like a self-imposed obstacle.
Well, the thing is, when you're like doing Sober October, you're just going to say, I'm going to abstain for a while, or I'm going to stop. It doesn't have to be about punishment. See, it's just like even like losing weight. Don't beat yourself up. Don't buy the chips in the house. Buy replacements. Or if you have chips in the house or you stumble, just be like, okay, I'm going to eat, I'm going to eat differently. My next meal, I'll eat a little better, or I'll do something, or, don't beat yourself up.
You don't have to give up altogether.
Yes.
And that's what I'm saying for people.
Instead of eating 50 chips, eat 15 and spread it out. Like, it's not about denying yourself, but like the alcohol, you don't have to punish yourself. Just get back on and just say, hey, you know what? I'm going to try. Hey, I did 2 days.
Yep.
Hey, I did 2 days.
That might even be a technique. So say you wanted to do 1 day, okay, then the next day I have alcohol. Then I do 2 days, then the third day I have alcohol. Then I do 3 days of no alcohol. Then the fourth day I'll have alcohol. At some point you will have 30 days.
Yeah.
And then your alcohol. To see if you could lower the total consumption. And what's going to pop up probably. So I say this because I had to stop drinking for health reasons, my heart, not because I had to send apologetic texts the next day, or, I was walking home on the side of the road at 4 o'clock in the morning. It was none of that.
Right.
It was just like, sleep is the most crucial thing for heart health. It's one of the most, and when you're having problems and you're having sleep problems and you're having circadian rhythm problems, and then you add alcohol on top of it, you're dysregulating yourself often. So I wasn't told to stop drinking. I stopped drinking waiting for a doctor's appointment. And I'm like, wow, I feel significantly different by not drinking. And then I go to that, specialist office, and he's like, what have you done? And I told him, and he said, yeah, well, you're not supposed to drink when you have that heart problem. It's very bad for your heart. So that's why I stayed on it. But I was doing that out of a desperation that no one was giving me any good answers for what. And I was just like, well, I don't need to drink.
You just start eliminating things from your...
Right. I don't need to do crazy high-intensity workout. I can just do a walk. I can, you start trying to like, all right, subtract things from your life. I wasn't adding anything onto my life. I was actually subtracting. And I think we always think the answer is more, when sometimes the answer is less. Instead of, I'll add a 3-hour journaling to my morning. No, if you can't keep that up, don't do that.
I'm going to eat those chips, and I'm going to run 5 more miles.
Right. Don't ever set yourself up for failure.
Yeah.
It's like, what can I remove? What isn't an impedance to me not to drink? If I have to go out and meet my friends in a bar on Friday and Saturday night, you're never going to pass a Friday or Saturday night, because now that your friends are associated with it.
Right.
But if you could say to your friends, for the next month or for the next week, I'm not going to drink next weekend. You're going to do one weekend. Can we meet for this instead? Yeah. And then be conscientious. If you tell a really good friend, like you told me, I'm just going to give a break just for a little bit. And then you tell me that, and 2 days later, I'm like, oh my God, just have a drink with me. Don't be like that. Just have a drink with me.
Yeah.
You can evaluate.
Yeah.
Why am I trying to sabotage something you said you wanted to do for yourself?
Yeah.
Why would I sabotage that?
Because misery loves company.
Because misery loves company. Absolutely.
I mean, that's the short answer. Like, you want somebody, because they are not really hearing you.
Right.
And
Same
they're
thing
not
for
there to
diets.
support.
You tell
It's
someone I'm
because,
on a diet.
Oh my God, we're going to have so much fun. We're going to do this. And, the truth of the matter is, if you actually just tried it, you don't even need it to have fun.
Right. Or maybe you do, and then you have to address other things.
See, I feel like when we went to Florida, we didn't have any alcohol.
I know we had a
Like,
good time.
I think I had a.
But we're fun.
I think I had a cocktail. Well, on the boat, the pirate ship.
Okay.
I think I got.
I know I ordered one so that we could sit at that rooftop bar, but I didn't drink it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I was like, it's a bar. I need to pay
That's
to
like
be
one
here.
drink for during the day, but it's like you don't
Yeah.
realize. You realize because somebody wants to encourage you because they don't want to drink alone, or they want to create that. You're going out
Synergy,
That,
yeah.
That fun energy. Let's be stupid. Let's be silly. You actually can still be that way.
Yes.
It's
Yeah, but we're fun at 9 o'clock in the morning, so we're
Alcohol
fun.
doesn't make you funny.
Right.
Alcohol just gives you, it
Or you
loses your
can't remember
impulse.
what was so funny.
Yes.
Like you're dying laughing, and the next day you're like, what were we laughing about?
Right. Like, who knows?
Who knows?
Right?
Yeah. But the next day you'd like to remember what was so funny so you could
Right.
laugh about it again.
Yes. Alcohol doesn't all of a sudden make you a comedian. You lose your impulse control, and
Yeah.
you're more likely to just relax.
But I do think people relax with it. They think,
Yes.
okay, this is my cue to relax. It is a physical depressant. So yes, you do feel like all that energy and tension. So you will have to find replacement things. Maybe you try a yoga class. Maybe you try walking. You try to move that energy around. And then all these feelings may come up because maybe you've been drinking because you don't want to feel your feelings.
Yes.
The jealousy feeling.
I think a lot of times
anger.
that's where that
Oh.
I think that where that comes from. But I also think like changing your routine.
And some people fall apart when their routine is changed.
Yeah.
So,
But do a shift.
Yeah.
Just like some kind of a shift. If you're normally, and the thing, alcohol's sneaky that way because technically when you start to feel a buzz in your body, you feel like, that warm, I think
Tingly.
in different alcohols give you a different buzz. Like a red wine is going to give you a different buzz than, well, I think even white wine, but vodka and I think tequila, like they all have their own, maybe that's just from childhood trauma.
right.
Getting some guy on the street to like pick us up some when we're underage and mixing it with like Hawaiian punch and
I was just thinking orange juice or
Oh,
orange soda.
but it's just hard, and like those hangovers from vodka, it's like that headache in the front. So yeah, I think it's probably been 30 years since I've avoided, probably more than 30 years than I've avoided vodka.
Kettle One and Grey Goose because they filter it more times. So I remember a woman, she worked for Martin Yeti, and she was coming in and she was talking about, different alcohol sales. And she says, as my job, I have to go out and drink at these places. She goes, and I will only drink Kettle One because I don't get hungover because they either triple filter it or filter it 5 times.
Wow.
So get out the impurities. So the more impurities the alcohol, the worse the hangover is because you're processing more stuff. So the filtering of it,
That's why
how many
that
times they
cheap
filter
alcohol gives you that nasty.
Yes. Yes.
But when you're first feeling a buzz, that's actually the alcohol just hitting your bloodstream. It's just hitting your bloodstream. So it's your alcohol level, your level of buzz, but you're also, your sobriety. It's the alcohol is going to continue to increase in your bloodstream. It's not when you first feel it. You're like, oh no, and then you feel like you just got to keep drinking because here it is. So I want to,
And there's that good spot.
I want to enhance that. You never enhance. You never enhance it. And I think that's a lot of misconception because it is, you're out. We've been to a bar, we've been to dance clubs before, especially when you're younger and you're in that moment and you're dancing and you're like, oh yeah, my drink's empty. You need another one. No, you don't. Just do water.
Right. Give it a rest. See how you feel.
Pace it out.
Right. Yeah.
Just go order a water, like have a drink, order a water, see how you feel. But we don't do that. We just get caught up and lost, I think, in the energy.
So I joke, there's no such thing as me having one drink, because when I have one drink, I think I need a second drink. Even though if I go into I'm having one.
Well, those Mai Tais are good. I think
So
there's
that's-
like some, because you're like, oh my God, it tastes so good.
The smell is amazing. The taste is amazing. And I can say, I will tell you every time I said I'm having one, on the first one, I'm ordering a second one. It's never not. I'm never not having the second one.
Yes.
So I don't know why I say that to myself, because I disappoint myself. Because once I'm in one, the previous part of my brain that said you made a promise to yourself you were having one.
Yes.
Is drunk. She's drunk, that one.
Yes, and now she's negotiating me like,
she's
what's
like,
wrong?
don't be a bummer.
It sounds so good.
It's so good. Everyone else is
And
doing
water
it.
tastes terrible after that.
And fish have sex in it. Don't drink it.
Right.
Don't. There's fish sperm in there. Don't drink it.
I know how to do that.
You get all kinds of little.
I'll never drink water again.
You're welcome.
Thank you. See, you don't need alcohol to have fun.
You don't need alcohol to have fun.
You
I
just
think
need
we're
a
gonna
dose of us.
We're going to the top of the hour. We'll be right back. You are listening to Lisa and Robin on the mic.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. 2 people have been arrested now over the attack at that synagogue in Manchester, England today. Police now officially declaring it a terror attack. 2 people were killed and 3 seriously injured when a man rammed his car into people outside and then began stabbing them. Israeli naval forces boarding most of the vessels in a flotilla attempting to break Israel's blockade of Gaza. The federal government is still shut down as Democrats demand that Republicans restore Medicaid funding and subsidies that help millions of Americans pay their health insurance premiums. House Speaker Mike Johnson said minutes ago, now is not the time to discuss that.
Don't ask the Republicans what we should be doing or what we should be negotiating. I don't have anything to negotiate. I sent them in good faith exactly what they had voted for before. We did not put any Republican provisions in that, and we tried to make this very simple.
Hundreds of thousands of federal workers are furloughed without pay. This is ABC News. New allegations are being made by the Commerce Secretary, who used to be neighbors with sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. ABC's Jay O'Brien explains.
One of President Trump's cabinet secretaries claiming that high-profile associates of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein not only knew of his behavior, but some even participated. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, Epstein's former neighbor, recounting his alleged experience with the deceased billionaire to the New York Post, saying he believes Epstein may have traded alleged blackmail videos for a lesser prison sentence during his first criminal case in 2008.
Last month, FBI Director Kash Patel testified that there was no credible evidence that Epstein trafficked to anyone other than himself. Berkshire Hathaway acquiring OxyChem, a company that makes chlorine for water treatment centers and mixtures used to treat icy roads, for nearly $10 billion. I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind, to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my 2 sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-549-8866. 800-549-8866. 800-549-8866.
Hi, I'm Lisa Law, New Hampshire Justice of the Peace. I've seen firsthand the stress and expense of large weddings. That's why I opened the Lawfully Yours Wedding Chapel in Nashua, where I host heartfelt and memorable small weddings, elopements, and vow renewals. Before you give up and elope to City Hall, come see the chapel. Let's make your wedding dreams come true. Visit lawfullyyoursweddingchapel.com to learn more and schedule a tour.
Looking to relax, refresh, and rejuvenate? Discover Remedy Med Spa in Nashua, your sanctuary for total wellness. From luxurious facials to advanced skin treatments and holistic care, Remedy Med Spa offers everything you need to feel your best. Escape the